But yeah, Troccoli sucks. You know, he's been around the goods, had his hands on the goods, ain't able to get it done. Okay, if you know, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on Locked Door MMA. We're your hosts. I'm Brevin. This is my good buddy JP. And in today's episode, we will be breaking down and giving our predictions for every single fight. UFC 323, Merab Dvalishili taking on Petr Yan for the second time. But before we get into that, JP, we hope that all of you had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you for all the new subscribers that joined over this past weekend, bringing us up to, I think, 608 current subscribers on YouTube. We appreciate you more than ever. Welcome to the Locked Door MMA community. But we're not done. We're not finished. We're not satisfied. Tell a friend, tell your mom. Just don't tell your girlfriends or wives to get subscribed to Locked Door MMA, the best UFC prediction channel on YouTube and on the internet. JP, hopefully you and yours had a very wonderful Thanksgiving. There was a lot of news that took place. I'll let you dive into it. But guys, if you enjoy UFC and if you're happy about some of the changes that we'll be talking about and maybe that you've heard through the grapevine coming to you in 2026, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for the best UFC coverage and predictions every single week. But JP, I'll let you take us away with some news coming from the UFC.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Holiday season. Love it. All right. Like Brevin said, hopefully Thanksgiving was great. I know mine was pretty good. Lots of crazy stuff, man. Lots of crazy stuff. Obviously, the last pay-per-view ever, I guess you could say, happening this weekend. They're changing to numbered events. But yeah, lots of crazy stuff, man. So on Thanksgiving, sitting there with the family, you know, the wife's family, having a couple indulges, if you will. And then I see Dana White's big old ball head on the screen. I said, well, what is this? I don't know anything about this. And he just dropped absolute bombshells about what is happening for the future. Now, I don't know if it's true, Brevin, but I heard this morning that there's rumblings that the announced Pimblett and Gaethje fight, which is going to be the next numbered event, I'm hearing rumblings that Gaethje may be out. Like I said, don't know if it's true. Heard it this morning. Okay, of one of those news, MMA news YouTubes. Obviously Armin's name is thrown in there. Everybody I know is upset that Armin's not getting the shot and Armin's not getting this, and I get it. You know, he should have been the next one. I think he would have been if Ilya was still fighting. I know he's dealing with some personal stuff. People are kind of up in arms. I think you see the dumb side of the UFC fan base saying, who cares, he should fight anyways. I think you guys are kind of brain dead if you're saying that. But yeah, so we'll have to see about that. Otherwise, Gaethje Pimblett, I think, is a great fight. Interim belt. And then Volkanovski Lopez 2. I know people were upset that Lopez getting the title shot again over Lerone Murphy. Brevin, I think it just comes down to entertainment value. People are saying popularity, but I mean, Lerone's last fight, extremely entertaining. You know, ask my wife's forehead. The vape was bouncing off of it. Okay. But yeah, just, other than that, it's just not, his career through the UFC has not been the most entertaining as much as Diego Lopez is. But I don't know how you felt about that announcement. Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes. That's massive. The GOAT returning. I mean, we'll see what Kayla can do. Kayla's big, cutting down to 135 every time. It looks like she's killing herself pretty much. So we'll have to see how the scales go. Once again, O'Malley's getting the next fight against Song Yadong. That's a striker's delight right there for sure. And then Mr. Waldo. Where's Waldo? A little bit of a heater. And they throw him to the Black Beast, Derek Lewis. So lots of good things, man. Lots of exciting things. And then, I mean, the last pay-per-view ever. And a big thank you. Okay. I want to stress this, and a big thank you to you guys. All right. We asked you guys to leave a like, comment, engage with the content, and our viewership has just been doing really well recently, and we love that. So appreciate y'all. And yeah, jump on the train, man, because it's I mean, it's going to be easier than ever to watch UFC, and we are not stopping, baby. We're coming for that perfect card.
Yeah, exactly, guys. Share it with your friends. Say, hey, UFC is coming to you on Paramount Plus. You don't have to pay for pay-per-views anymore. You just have to have a Paramount Plus subscription. And when they do, let them know Locked Door MMA is the place to go for the best predictions in the world. And, just to be a part of a community, that talks MMA, that speaks about the UFC, breaks news, all that stuff. Make sure to send them our way. We got them, and we will welcome them to the community with open arms. But yeah, JP, I hear you on some of the debacle on who should get these title shots, and are these guys the deserving ones? The UFC's always prided themselves on the best fighters will fight the best fighters. We're not like boxing where we're going to build one guy up, right? Like the best will fight the best. And right now, there's a case that the best, one of the best, Arman Tsarukyan, deserves this shot more than Justin Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett. But yeah, we'll see. It's interesting for sure. But things will play out the way that they're supposed to play out. And ultimately, the right champion will become the right champion. It just may take a little bit longer time than we expected from the get-go. But JP, we have a massive card here in front of us. So let's not waste any more time and dive straight into this thing. UFC 323 from Las Vegas, Nevada at the T-Mobile Arena. Super, super excited for this one. Starting with two really good up-and-coming fighters, Muhammad Naimov taking on Myron Santos.
Stacked card, dude. Very stacked card from top to bottom. And a lot of close fights again. Okay, the last pay-per-view, a lot of close fights once on there. I know everybody always complains about these cards where they have these massive favorites. There's no betting spots. Blah 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 blah. Here's your card, man. If you're one of those people that hates massive favorites, here is your card. A lot of close lines.
Well, the next one,
yeah.
We'll get
there's those little outliers always, but yeah, good fight here. All right, Marion Santos, his last fight at 155 against Sadiq Youssef. And then Naimov, I mean, he fights out of Denver, Colorado. This dude, his nickname is Hillman. Quite literally the dude. This guy's got the most hair on his body I've ever seen. Okay. My wife pops in and out occasionally when the fights are on, and she saw this man fighting one time, and she said he just looks like a bear with how much hair this dude's got on his body. But he's a wrestler. He's a grappler. He's going to look to take you down to the ground. He's got good trips in the clinch. On the feet, he's not bankrupt either. Okay. Defensively, striking, pretty decent. Okay. He's not going to get caught with his hands down, his chin way up in the air. Going to have to be a technical striking fight to beat this man on the feet. Marion Santos might be that guy. He is very technical, very fast, great footwork. One of those guys where if you do this waiting out period, this feeling out period that always happens at the beginning of fights, he'll get off before you do. He's going to be quick, extremely technical. He sets stuff up very well. His grappling is not what he's known for, but we do like his defensive grappling. Okay, you're getting underhooks on the cage. As soon as he hits the ground, he's pushing off the head, trying to get back up, trying to get to the cage. We're doing something. We're doing anything. We're not laying there, right? We're not accepting guard. We're not closing guard and just holding. So you love to see that. He's got great balance. Very young kid, 25 years old. Some people, I know this fight, specifically because of the stylistic matchups, will bring up the Francis Marshall fight. Francis very well could have gotten the nod, but watching that fight back, I will say a lot of these close split decisions, watching them back, I'd say is pretty helpful in terms of you actually see how close the fight really was. I know, because everybody's always betting or picking a fighter, and you do kind of have that unconscious bias. I don't know if that was the right word, unconscious, but you have that bias
subconscious.
There. Yeah, subconscious. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's why we do a UFC show, okay? Because school wasn't for me. I'll say that much. Anyways, we're gonna take Francis Marshall. Jesus Christ, man. We are taking Marion Santos.
Adding fuel to the fire, my friend. Wow.
We are taking.
Wow, that was.
We are taking Marion Santos. Let me fucking collect myself. Yeah, we're taking Santos. Okay. We're in the big cage. All right. Santos' footwork, very good. Okay. The one thing that me and Brevin see all the time, doing this for so long, this show for a couple years, watching UFC for multiple years, when you're the big cage and one guy clearly wants to grapple and then can't because of the footwork, and then if he gets to you, that's why Merab is so good, is because he will not deter himself after 1, 2, 3, 4, 26 unsecured takedowns. He will continue coming, right? But very close fight, good fight. We're taking Santos, man. Santos on the feet, going to be quicker, sharper, more accurate, and we just, Naimov tends to fade in fights. You saw that in the Felipe fight. We just saw what Felipe looked like against Peyton Talbott. Very close fight, but we're taking Santos, man. 16-1, young kid, a lot of potential. Give us Santos.
Yeah, the thing that you didn't really mention is he's fought at 155. Now he's going to be coming down to 145, and I think that's a good weight for him. At least with the size, he's going to have a long reach for that division as well, and he's got good power for a 145er also. So super stoked to see what he can do. The other thing, JP, that we didn't touch on is I like when these guys are coming off of a big time spot like the co-main event, which Myron Santos fought in his last fight. Now you're the first fight on the prelims. Granted, it is a pay-per-view. That's a big time thing, but in the arena, not many fans. It feels a little bit more relaxed. You don't have all the pressure of being in a co-main event. You get to go out there and really showcase your skill set. I like Myron Santos a lot in this spot. Give us Myron Santos, the legend.
Yeah, people are still filing in. You always see it. Those close seats around the ring are normally pretty empty at the start of it. So, all right, moving up, another super close money line here. Okay, it's basically a pick 'em at this point. Mansour Abdul-Malik is going up against Antonio Troccoli.
Before I dive into this, why don't they just like rent out seats, like for the prelims? If someone buys a seat, knows they're not showing up till the main card, why don't you rent it out? I'll pay a little pretty penny to sit there and watch some preliminary fights. We make a quick drive up to Vegas, watch the prelims, and then go out somewhere and watch the pay-per-view. I think that sounds like a great time. Maybe that's a good business idea for the UFC. Let people rent their seats until the main card, and then you just get the boot, like Dylan Dennis in New York. But anyways, Mansour Abdul-Malik taking on Antoni Troccoli, Broccoli. We don't give a damn. Give us Mansour Abdul-Malik. He's got power. He's got youth. He's a big-time puncher. Sure, the grappling maybe can favor Troccoli. He's big for that division. He's very long, 6'5", 80-inch reach. Doesn't matter though. Mansour's going to get home with his punches and knock Troccoli out. Give us Mansour by KO.
Yeah, Mansour first round finish, second round finish. Probably what you're looking at. Again, the thing I told you guys in the other video, you can try and do the same fight parlay. Do under a round, finish by KO, significant strikes, whatever. Try and get yourself as close to plus money as possible. Other than that, Mansour, probably a parlay piece, obviously. But yeah, Troccoli sucks. He's been around the goods, had his hands on the goods, ain't able to get it done. Okay, if you know, you know. Give us Mansour.
Yeah, you're a wild man. Next fight, we've got Ivo Aslan taking on Iwo Baraniewski.
Iwo. Short and sweet, guys. We think Ivo sucks. Ivo's ass. It's a run at you with a bunch of power, a bunch of speed at the first round. If that doesn't get you out of there and he's got to be technical and slow down, he is not going to do it. Is this a fight that Ivo can win? Absolutely. Okay. Iwo is going to be willing to stand with him for a little bit. They both have a lot of power. Iwo is from Poland. They talk about Polish power. What is Iwo's? Turkish power? Is that what it is? Yeah, Turkey.
That's correct.
He's if I touch somebody, he already die. Okay. You got to be more technical sometimes to touch people. But yeah, he could win by knockout. He's got 14 knockout wins in his career. That's how he wins, right? 14-3. He's knocking everybody out when he wins. But Iwo's got grappling upside. He can grapple, willing to grapple. He's got a nice 1-2 into a level change very fast. So we're going to take Iwo. We're not going to take Aslan. Aslan sucks. Can he win? Sure. If he does, who really cares? Give us Ebo.
Yeah. Iwo, not Ebo. The judo's there for Iwo as well. That's his specific art that he's gotten really good at, and I think in this fight, you may see a little bit of that as well, but he's never really had to turn to that. His hands are really good. He's got KO power. We've seen that in some of these fights leading up to this one. And I think he does it again. Ebo, he sits back too much. Like, sure, he presses forward early, but outside of that, or if you catch him with something that makes him respect your power, he then lets his foot off the gas. It's very strange. I like to see guys that are just all gas, no brakes, like a Merab, right? Whereas Ebo, he just tries to be all gas, but then he's all brakes and he can't really figure it out. I don't love it. Give us Ewo. I think he's just going to be the better fighter overall.
Fight doesn't go distance. Under 2.5. It's probably going to be heavily priced, so parlay it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great spots on this card, you guys. There's a lot of great spots to make money. All right, moving up, next one. Very interested to watch this one. Edson Barbosa returns after the Drakkar close loss, going up against the unretired now, Jalen Turner.
Yeah, interesting matchup, guys. Edson Barbosa, he's fought a lot of people inside the UFC. He's 39 years old, kind of on that decline, right, in his career, taking on Jalen Turner, who already retired, then decides, hey, I'm still got that itch and that want to compete. So he's back inside the UFC. We'll see what he looks like. Jalen's got good power in his hands. He's big. I mean, 6'3" at 155 is insane. And Edson, his opponent, is very well rounded, right? He's a Brazilian guy, so he can grapple. He's got good hands. He's got great technique. A student of the game is how I would describe him. But Jalen Turner, I think he's got more upside as far as the power goes. He's very capable, not only on the ground, but with the hands and on the feet. And I think Jalen Turner can put on a show in his performance back. We're taking Jalen Turner, but from a bettor's perspective, stay away from this fight. We just don't know what Jalen Turner is going to look like. Like, he did give up in his last fight. Triangle wasn't deep. He probably could have escaped. He gave up, tapped, and then retired. It was very strange. But, he's got the skill set necessary to put on a good performance. Give us Jalen Turner.
Yeah, guys. When Brevin says stay away from it, just don't touch this fight. Right? If you're betting on this fight and then some shit happens and then you're going to be upset about it or whatever, it's just pointless to bet on this fight. We don't know why Jalen's coming back. Right? That's what Brevin said. Is he coming back because he needs the money? Is he coming back because he realized, I actually do love this? Right? Because when you look at it, I feel like you have to take Jalen Turner in terms of who's the better fighter. Edson, like Brevin said, is a student of the game. He's not bankrupt anywhere. He is pretty decent everywhere. Obviously, his stand-up is his fucking wheelhouse. No pun intended, with that goddamn wheel kick that he throws, that spinning heel kick. But like Jalen Turner loses a close split decision to Hooker and Gamrot. I don't think anybody's going to sue him for that. That's, in my eyes, could have gone either way. Close fights. He knocks out Bobby Green. Killed Bobby Green. All right, I don't know what the fuck that ref was doing. And then Renato Moicano ground and pound. He quit. And he sold his KO. He hit Moicano and then tried to walk away. Just finish the fight. So that was a mistake on your end, meaning Jalen Turner. Is what it is. You got to be able to accept that. You blew it. And then, like Brevin said, in the Bahamondes fight, Bahamondes is a good up-and-coming fighter. Very good. But that triangle, that was bad defense, wasn't very tight. And then you just kind of, I don't know if I like this anymore. And now he's coming back. So we'll have to see. Edson's clearly slowed down, but yeah, we're taking Turner. Don't put any eggs out of the basket on this one.
Yeah, 1,000%. All right, next fight. Marvin Vettori versus Bruno Ferreira.
Good one here. This one's interesting. Okay, this is the one I kind of had a tough time with. Okay, Marvin Vettori, the Italian dream, Italian stallion, the fucking blockhead. All right, this is one of the dudes. His career, he's been known. You can hit him and it doesn't matter. Dude's not going to do anything. You're going to have to hit this dude with a 2x4 or a sledgehammer to knock him out because it's not going to do anything. Marvin will come forward a lot. right? And he'll throw a 1-2. He'll throw a jab. It looks decent. His striking doesn't look horrible. I'm not a massive fan of it, though. I don't think it's fast. I don't think Marvin has power. I don't think Marvin on the feet has much ability to finish people, right? He's just always in your face, has a great chin, and has good cardio. So it makes him a problem. And Marvin can wrestle. He's a strong guy who can wrestle, right? So he's not a guy who's always getting subbed or getting ragdolled, this and that. Okay. Bruno Ferreira. I mean, stupid powerful. Puts out RoboCop in his debut, right? Now, people might have something to say about him getting slumped by Ruziboyev. We don't care because Nursultan's an absolute killer, massive, great striking. But Bruno can grapple as well, right? The armbar he had on Jackson McVeigh. I understand McVeigh's not great, but that was a good setup. He made it look like an arm triangle, and then Jackson threw his arm way up to the side, tried to roll over. Boom, Bruno immediately jumped it. Gorgeous stuff. Armin Petrosian, that dude's a great kickboxer. Great on the feet. So what would you do? Yeah, I'd take him down at some as well. And then losing to Abus, that's the downfall of Bruno Ferreira. Okay, he's a motherfucker to deal with. Right, on the feet, the power, all of this. But he gasses. That is a problem, is he will gas. Right, if he doesn't get the finish, he will gas. He's never seen a scorecard in his career. And you'll see that with somebody else on this card when we move up. But Vettori's not going to have... I think Vettori's only path to winning this fight is getting his ass beat a little bit, and then Bruno gasses out, and then Vettori puts it on him on the third or wins on the judges' scorecards. If Bruno Ferreira wants to progress his career, he needs to have cardio. I think we see that. I think he puts it on Vettori. I think Vettori going backwards is horrible, not good, and I think that's why he always makes it a point to come forward. I think Bruno's going to make that a problem. I think he's going to put a lot of damage on Vettori's face because Vettori gets hit quite a bit. And on the ground, I don't think Vettori has an edge. I really don't. I think the grappling's pretty close. If anything, I think Bruno Ferreira's submission ability makes it even more dangerous. I think he has all the upside in this fight. We just cannot gas out late in the fight. Give us Bruno Ferreira. Dog money, technically.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you said it. I think the power from Ferreira is going to be a problem for Vettori. And I was telling JP guys before we started filming, like he's got this reputation of, oh, he's got a good chin. And the way that you earn that reputation is you get hit a lot. That's what he does. He gets hit a lot. And I think if you're getting hit a lot by Bruno Ferreira, it's going to be a long night in the office. So give us Bruno. I think he's just got to stay safe. And like JP said, not gas late in the third. And if he does, hope that he's up the first 2 rounds, which he very well could be. And then it's just survival, which he could do that as well. I just think Vettori's got a lot on his plate in this matchup, given the power coming from Bruno Ferreira.
100%, man. And like Vettori's last 5, Whitaker's a good striker. Lost that one. Beat Delidze the first time. Roman Delidze's striking is even worse than Marvin Vettori's. Then he ended up losing to him, lost to Cannonier. And then everybody saw the Brendan Allen fight, so Marvin Vettori's a strange one. All right, moving up, next one. I mean, other than the co-main and main event, Brevin, I think this is the fight I'm most excited to see on this card. Perez Ziam taking on the Black Wolf, Nazim Sadykhov.
I mean, listen, I disagree. I think there's a number of fights that you can make a case for that you're really excited for. The Moreno Tatsuro Tiara fight, Peyton Talbott, Henry Cejudo. There's going to be a lot that's told in some of these fights. So I'm super excited for a lot of them. But JP's right. This one is very, very good. Ziam, he's been on a streak as of late. He's tall for this division. He's got good power. He's slick with his striking. And then Nazim Sadykhov, very, very powerful guy. He's tough as nails. You've seen not only a draw on his resume, but in the last fight, Nicholas Mata was putting it on him. He was shelling up against the fence, and all of a sudden turned it around and started pouring on Nicholas Mata. A lot of people were calling that the fight of the year. It was phenomenal to watch. As a viewer, I will tell you that. But in this one, both of these fighters are going to have their hands full. Both of them good grapplers, both of them good strikers. It should be fireworks from start to finish. But we like Sadykhov here as the underdog. Sadykhov's really just got to be careful of showing up like he normally does and then potentially having a ref step in if Ziam wants to just pour it on him and catch him with something, right? But Sadykhov's got the hands to potentially knock out Fair Ziam, which Fair Ziam hasn't been knocked out. However, he leaves his chin up in the air a lot. It's very, very dangerous for him. And then on the ground, Sadykhov's also a really good grappler. He's got some sambo in his background as well. But Ziam's very skilled also. So, um, close matchup. Really, really good job to the matchmakers. But we like Nazim Sadykhov as the underdog.
Yeah, man. Really close fight. I wouldn't be surprised that by the time this fight goes off, it might be a pick'em. You know, it's not wide odds right now, but stupid close fight. I mean, Ziam striking from distance is gorgeous. The thing that sold it, for me at least, was me and Brevin were talking about this fight. I don't like when somebody has a very long range like Ziam. He's going to have a, 6-inch reach advantage in this one. And they step themselves into range for the other guy. I think being able to be at the end of your ranges, that's the dangerous part with Ziam. Sometimes he'll loop stuff a little too much. He'll step in a little too far to where his shots kind of overextend past them. Now he's kind of in the clinch, in the red zone. And then like Brevin said, when he goes backwards, when Ziam goes backwards, his arms go up and his chin goes in the air. The typical tall, long that we see all the time. That's the one problem with a lot of their striking when they fight a short person. Ziam or Nazim has great combinations. He always throws in combinations, and he will go forward and throw a lot of volume. Those three things, you guys know, if you've been watching this channel, those are three things we like a lot with somebody striking. Got to have volume. Don't only throw one or two, and move forward. Like Brevin said, him sitting on the cage, we cannot sit there and shell up. Because Perez will sit at range, pick you up, or pick you apart if you're on the cage. But Nazim, if he explodes out, goes forward, throws a lot of combos, I think he could get up on the scorecards. Ziam's not bankrupt on the ground, but his back can be taken, right? And he can be put in comparable positions. I think Nazim will also have that upside, right? I think this can go to the scorecards, or I think Nazim can chin him because of that chin up in the air. If he pushes him against the cage, I think it might be a problem. Give us Nazim Sadykhov. Dog money on the Black Wolf.
And you've been using the word bankrupt a lot. Is like, is there something going on I don't know about? Is the channel going bankrupt? The LLC going under? What's going on?
I mean, that sponsorship we got with that G League team, you know, that 2K team, it's just not paying off, man.
Yeah, shady deal we did there. Wow. All right. You got me thinking back to all the mistakes we've made. Well, it's just frustrating, you know, the old 2K league. They want us, they don't want us, it doesn't pay out. It's frustrating.
You know, and they kind of suck now. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they were winning before, and now they just can't win games.
That's how it goes. All right, moving up this card, we've got Macy Barber taking on Karini Silva.
This one was tough for me as well, guys. I just don't know. This fight is very close, and I think there are multiple maybe not multiple pathways, but there is an obvious pathway for both fighters to win this fight. I do not blame anybody for being on either side of this fight. Macy Barber hasn't fought in a little bit, but she's kind of a dog. You know, for a women's fighter, she's got that dog in her a little bit. She'll come forward. She's willing to throw down. She's not a slouch on the ground. She's not bankrupt on the ground. You know, on the feet, she'll throw volume. And we see that often in women's fights, right? When it's a close fight, two evenly matched girls, it'll go to decision, which this one, again, hammer the over 2.5. Hammer fight goes distance. I 100% think so. But one girl will just throw more, be more active, right? And it just looks better to the judges. That's the only thing they have to go off of. There we go. The reason I say that is because Karini Silva, I like her striking more than Macy Barber's. Okay, Macy Barber, every time she throws, she has that habit of dropping her hands. She doesn't move her head. Macy Barber does get hit a lot. Okay, she's willing to throw down, but she eats shots. She drops her hands when she throws combinations. The other hand does not return. Karine Silva is more defensively sound. I think she's more accurate. She throws straighter, but she does not throw a lot sometimes. She does not throw volume. That is a problem. You can't just sit on the feet and get caught in that, trying to be technically sound and watching. You got to throw something. And then the problem with Karine, she's a phenomenal grappler. Submission artist. She's going to hunt for subs. But we are pulling guard way too fucking much sometimes. And if you guys have been around the channel, when I locked her, this is why we don't lock women anymore. She drove me fucking crazy in the Viviane fight. All she did was pull guard. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. But we don't know what we're getting with Macy. We really don't. It's going to be almost 2 years since she fought. She didn't fight Erin Blanchfield. She had seizures. Brevin was saying she had to take a shit. Who knows what it was? She had to squeeze one out. Maybe she did try and squeeze one out, and that gave her the seizure. Pushing too hard. We don't know. Okay? But she's having those problems. She's getting new boobies. We don't know what we're getting from her. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Okay? You know, we love all types of boobies over here. Okay? We're not boob prejudiced. All right? Don't sign us up for that. But we don't know what we're getting. Karine Silva, we think she has a lot of potential. We do think she's good, but we need to address the volume, and we cannot pull guard a lot. We're not going to come out here and pick Maycee Barber and then watch Karine live up to the potential that we think she has. We're going to pick Karine Silva. Close fight. Maycee could be a dog and edge it out, but we just think Karine is overall the better fighter. Give us Silva.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, you're really painting me to be a terrible person. I was saying those things in the moment when shit was happening, when she was delayed in walking out to the octagon. So don't make me sound like an insensitive human being, right? You want to talk about bankrupt, you'll be seeing a lawsuit for defamation, all right? I didn't know at the time she was having seizures, okay? Once that news broke, the conversations were much different, guys. So don't listen to JP about how Brevin doesn't think she was having seizures. He just thinks she was taking a dump. No, that's not the case. All right. But yes, Karine Silva, she's the better fighter. She's just got, I don't want to say she's got IQ problems, JP, but she's got to make better decisions inside the octagon. She's got to utilize the skill sets in a more offensive way, not as a defensive only approach, right? Maycee Barber, freestyle wrestler. She's going to look for takedowns, and Silva could fall into the trap of pulling guard again. If I see that, I will be very, very frustrated with Karine Silva and probably won't be able to back her moving forward, especially against wrestlers. But I do think Maycee Barber is going to have her hands full. If she does get into the guard of Karine Silva, it's dangerous. The arm bars could be there, right? Maycee doesn't see a ton of that from these girls. Silva's jiu-jitsu is really, really high level, and I do think it would be a mistake to stay inside of Silva's guard. However, if you can take her down, beat her up a little bit, and then get back to the feet, do the same thing, it's going to win you a decision, right? However, the striking from Karine Silva on the feet, I do believe favors her. So yeah, we're backing Karine Silva, the underdog, but Maycee Barber could have success with the wrestling just because Silva's just so reluctant to defend the takedowns, and she just accepts bottom position. It drives us crazy, but she's a very skilled fighter.
And we'll see. You know, I know there's been a couple cards lately where the judges really aren't giving a shit about position on the ground if you're not throwing anything or if you're not causing damage, right? So if she's on her back and she's throwing up subs, we'll see how the judges feel about that. But the thing about Maycee is she will. Right, she won't pull a Jailton Almeida and just lay on top of you. But yeah, close fight, guys. We'll see. 3 dogs in a row. Okay, you can't say we're not chasing dog money. All right, we're gonna hit him. Next one. This is gonna be a barn burner for sure. Fireworks guaranteed. Someone's going to sleep in some way, shape, or form in this fight. Terrence Mckinney, the other man that I told y'all has not seen a scorecard in his career. Going up against Chris. Don't be silly. Jump to Gilly. Duncan.
Yeah, no, guys. And honestly, for all those haters out there that are like, these guys just pick favorites. Well, say something this week. We've got a lot of underdogs and we've got more to come, so stay tuned. Chris Duncan, Terrence McKinney should also be a barn burner because like JP was saying, Terrence McKinney is first round or bust. That's always fun for us as viewers. He's going to come out like a bat out of hell and either knock Chris Duncan out, submit him, or get knocked out or submitted himself. It's fun to watch. One thing that you could potentially look at is the under, right? Because Terrence McKinney does not see scorecards. Maybe play an under here. But we like Chris Duncan. We think he's got good hands, and the guillotines, the submissions are there for him as well. He's very, very skilled. And the thing with Chris Duncan, he had a little bit of a hiccup early on in his career. He's been on an absolute tear. Last 3 fights in a row, first round guillotine, second round guillotine, and then a nice unanimous decision over Matush Rebeshki, who's no slouch, right? Very, very good performances from Duncan as of late. And then, like we said, Terrence McKinney will come out really hot, really fast, right? What does he do with that, though? Sure, a nice little submission over Borshev, who gets subbed by a lot of people, and then fighting an absolute nobody, Damir Hadjovic, right? But man, first round. You just look at this guy's tapology. It's fun to look at. But yeah, we're taking Chris Duncan. I think he's just the better fighter, and he's probably going to catch Terrence McKinney, maybe with that guillotine in the first round.
Terrence Chinny McKinney. All right, let's not look past that. He has been slumped many times before. But I mean, Terrence is a fan favorite just because of the violence he brings, right? I don't care if you're gonna lose, if you're gonna come out, do something crazy like that, right? And I mean, credit to him. He knows when we come out first round, we're both dry. If I take your back or if I'm on top, it's gonna be hard to get off me, right? If I'm putting you in a rear naked and we're not all slippery and sweaty, it's going to be a lot harder, right? So Chris Duncan's going to have to mind his P's and Q's right off the bat. But Duncan's a dog. You know, Duncan will go through the fire on the feet. He'll crack you, right? So if McKinney can't get it done, I think it's Duncan all the way. I don't think Duncan's a just absolute atrocious dog shit can like Slava. But yeah, give us Chris Duncan.
Yeah, excited for that fight nonetheless. And honestly, JP, I wish we'd see more fighters like Terrence McKinney that are just all action from the get-go. All right, moving up, we got Grant Dawson taking on Manuel Torres.
Well, I think you got your wish. Okay, because I would put Manuel Torres, maybe not as high as McKinney, but I would put him up there as far as a bat out of hell, all action. Okay, this dude, he'll hit hard as shit, extremely fast. Pretty much just a freak for this weight class, okay? I was kind of shocked that it says he's only 5'10". I could have swore he was bigger than that. Or am I just smoking crack?
No, 5'10's accurate.
So I don't know. Maybe I was thinking of Bahamundes when they fought, but
Well, he fought Bahamundes, and Bahamundes is like 6'3".
yeah,
so.
he's a big son of a bitch. I just thought Manuel was bigger, at least like 6'1" or something, but yeah, he's going up against Grant Dawson, which we know what Grant Dawson is. He's a very good wrestler, very good top control. Okay, so he's gonna talk about his wife's dump truck, and then he's gonna take you down, and then sit in mouth. Okay, people are gonna complain that he's boring, he's this, he's that. If you think Grant Dawson is boring, go watch a Torres Finney fight. I'll say that till the day I fucking die. All right, Torres Finney sucks. Add it to the pot. All right, every time I say that on this channel, put aside like $5. I guarantee you'll have so much money by the end of the year. But Manuel can grapple, right? He's not a slouch. Is he as good of a grappler as Grant Dawson? No, Grant Dawson's very high level with wrestling, top control. But the problem with Grant is he's kind of chinny, and that's why he goes straight to it, right? His striking is okay. It's definitely progressed and gotten better, but Manuel Torres is a fucking problem. I think if this goes long, it's definitely Grant Dawson, 100%, but we do not think it goes long. We think Manuel Torres is going to get him out of there by KO. Under 1.5 for sure. I mean, he's just a problem to deal with. Very long, very fast, accurate, power, all the above. Right? If you go to ESPN's page, right? Or just look at Manuel Torres' stats. You always look at the strikes landed per minute to see what kind of volume somebody has or on average. You know, obviously newcomers, that's a different story. Manuel Torres is at 7.87. This man is not afraid to throw. He will come out like a bat out of hell and throw what he has at you because he knows he's one of those guys that knows if I come forward, it's a problem for other people. Grant Dawson is not a Bajo Mendez who's tall, long, and a phenomenal counter striker. That will not happen. Give us Grant Dawson by KO.
Oh, Manuel
Or
Torres.
Grant Dawson. Jesus Christ.
JP, he had a week off. He had Thanksgiving. He drank a little too much. He indulged a little too much, and now he's here making mistakes.
Apparently, I'm still drunk. Okay. Give us Torres by KO. And what I was going to say about the other fight before this. You guys want a nasty little parlay? Okay. The McKinney Duncan under parlayed with the over of the Silva Barber fight. Parlayed with the under of the Ebo Ewo. Nasty little over-under parlay. But give us Manuel Torres.
Yeah. Put some turkeys in the chat to commemorate JP's unreadiness this Monday afternoon at filming. Video will be ready later this week. But yeah, put some turkeys in the chat. Remind JP, hey, Thanksgiving's all fun and games until you got to film the next week and you can't even pronounce your fighters' names correctly. And normally I'm the guy getting crap for it. Anyways, I show up ready for work. JP doesn't. That takes us to the main card. Jan Blachowicz is taking on Bogdan Guskov.
You want this one? You want me to go?
Oh, you know what? You take it.
All right, man. Interesting one. Very interesting one. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I know everybody's going to be talking about Jan Blachowicz's age. 43, damn near by the time this fight goes off.
Wow.
Okay.
What's he still fighting for?
Shit. I mean, literally in every professional sport, this man should have been long gone by now. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Jan Blachowicz is still very good. Extremely good. Everybody's going to talk about the Carlos Ulberg fight, how boring it was. A lot of people think Jan could have gotten that nod. It was boring because it's two guys that both still are very good and want their crack at the title. And no guy is going to go out on a limb and put himself in danger because both of the guys are extremely high-level strikers. Jan Blachowicz, if you want a leg kicking, leg checking breakdown, watch Jan Blachowicz fight. He checks. I was telling Brevin when we were talking about this, I don't even know the real percentage. I don't even know if you could do this. But he checks damn near 90% of the leg kicks coming back at him. He will throw them hard, accurate, at you. He'll land them. You'll try and return fire. He's checking it. He's checking it. He is phenomenal with the leg kicks, and it's a problem. And then everybody wants to talk about Polish power. He is the original Polish power guy, right? He was the dude that was slumping everybody, this and that. Go to Guskov. That's what everybody wants to talk about, is his power. This dude's disgusting. He's knocking people out left and right. He's the upgraded version of Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith 2.0. Okay? I understand. Guskov, his stand-up is disgusting. Lots of power. Definitely get that. Guskov on the ground isn't this, albeit all-know-it, disgusting grappler. Okay, Billy Alicana, if he had any sense in him, he would have choked him out in their fight. Okay, Guskov was in a horrible spot. Jan Blachowicz is much better than that, and he will finish that if he's on your back. Okay, is Jan a grappling specialist? No, but he can, and he's a strong son of a bitch. Go ask Alex Pereira. I understand Alex beat him. Super close fight. That's all Jan does, is fight extremely high-level fighters and make it stupid close. That is literally the story of his career. Okay, he's beaten Rakic. That's when Rakic's leg got tore up. The Glover Teixeira sub. Some people don't like Glover because of his stand-up. Glover was a fucking problem on the ground. Okay, he had a draw with Ankalaev, who was the champ, the one that was going to beat the shit out of Pereira. Everybody was saying that. I understand we picked him to win, but we were never saying, oh, Ankalaev beating the shit out of Pereira, all this and that. Everybody was so high on that. Had a draw with him. Split decision loss over Alex Player. Or with Alex. Right? And then he loses to Carlos Ulberg in a boring fight, this and that. We're taking Jan Blachowicz, man. I will stand on it. I think Jan's stand-up is still a problem. A lot of power. Very accurate. Defensively sound. Extremely defensively sound. I think Bogdan is a problem for people who aren't as well-rounded as Jan Blachowicz. And I just think this is too much too soon. If Bogdan goes out there and slumps Yan, everybody's going to be like, you're stupid. We told you so. We knew it. Okay. I got to see it first. I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to be a walk in the park and he's going to slump him. It's the same shit with the Valentina fight that just happened. Whaley's going to dominate her and dog walk her and all this stuff. And we were telling you guys, Valentina's not done. We don't think Jan's done either. 43, I get it. I understand. If he gets slumped, fine. I'll live with it. And I'll be able to lay my head on pillow at night knowing I was fine with taking Yan. Give us Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah. I'm just looking through Jan Blachowicz's record here. He's fought some heavy punchers. And, if you go to decision with Alex Pereira and you survive that, what makes me, and you go to decision with Magomed on Goliath, he's real, and Carlos Ulberg, you go to decision. What makes me think that Bogdan Guskov's going to walk in here and start you? I get the age, but man, Yan is really, really good. I think JP said it best. We're taking Yan. The age isn't going to matter in this matchup. I just think this is a huge step up in competition for Bogdan. So prove it to us first before we start backing you.
100%, man. I get the age thing. I really do. But like the lower you go down a weight class, I think that's when it really matters more. Everybody always talks about lighter guys' skill. When you're higher up like this, and like I don't think he looked bad. The Carlos Ulberg fight was what it was. It's two high-level strikers that aren't willing to put themselves in danger. Sue. All right. Next one. Good one here. Triple C, King of the Cringe, Henry Cejudo, taking on Frank Ocean's boyfriend, Peyton Talbott.
Yeah, King of the Cringe. Yeah, great matchup. I'm excited for this one. And JP and I had a long discussion about this before we started filming. Sure, Henry Cejudo, 38 years old, but he still got some juice. And in the last fight against Song Yadong, yes, he was getting beat up. Then the eye poke happened. Unfortunate that it ended in that manner. But I still think he's got a lot left in the tank. Olympic wrestler, as you guys know, very, very skilled. Peyton Talbott, up and coming prospect, 27 years old, very big for this division, 5'10" at 135. Wow. That is a massive individual for this division, and he's got the power to back that up. He puts people's lights out. He's a good technical striker, throws straight punches, which we love to see. He's got one flaw in his whole record, and that's Raoni Barcelos. And in that fight, he got taken down. He got controlled. It was very, very frustrating. So much so, a lot of people thought Felipe Lima was going to walk in there and do the same thing and ragdoll him, take him down, hold him down. Peyton Talbott showed you a different side to him. He's showing you that he's now got takedown defense. He can stay on the feet, and if he's on the feet, he's a major problem. Now, what JP and I talked about before the show is that Henry Cejudo and Felipe Lima are way, way different, right, as far as skill set of wrestling. And Henry Cejudo may have some really tough things to offer Peyton Talbott, right? Peyton Talbott's really going to have to prove himself in this matchup because Henry Cejudo, in a lot of the positions that Lima had Talbott in, would have finished the takedown, would have had some control time. So I do worry about that a little bit, but super excited for Peyton Talbot striking in this one because Henry Cejudo has really just turned into this big looping puncher that tries to get inside for his takedowns. And when you're fighting a straight and narrow puncher and Peyton Talbot with the power that he possesses, watch out. It should be an exciting matchup. We're taking Peyton Talbot, the up-and-coming prospect with the power. I think he's just got the skill set necessary to keep Henry Cejudo at bay. It should be a really telling fight for us to see where is Talbot's wrestling defense at now. If you can fend off someone with the wrestling pedigree of Henry Cejudo, this whole division should be put back on notice, and that the Barcelos fight was a turning point for him. Right? I hope that is the case for him. If Cejudo goes out there and controls him, yikes, we might be looking at a Sean O'Malley situation to where your striking's great. If you go up against a really high-level wrestler and grappler, you may be in trouble, But that's how I see this fight going. Give us Peyton Talbot.
100%, man. 100%. You broke it down really well, but that's just the question of it. And I know a lot of you are going to probably throw a lot of money at this fight. Me and Brevin aren't. We're not going to touch it. We just don't see the reasoning to. You know, I mean, like Brevin said, there's going to be a big question answered. Okay, because the Raoni Barcelos fight, you guys hear me talk about these egos all the time. Because I do think a lot of these fighters do. I mean, you walk around like Peyton Talbott and you're knocking everybody the fuck out. And you're a little flamboyant. You're painting your nails. I don't know if he has officially come out as gay or whatever. But in this fan base, you know, in this area, we hear what people say, wild shit all the time, right? So he's probably getting shit from this person, shit from that person. But he's knocking people out. Undefeated prospect. Probably had a massive ego. Going up against Raoni Barcelos, this old man. I'm going to starch this dude. And then went out there and got grapple fucked. We see it all the time. Big ego check. So what do you do with that? In the Felipe Lima fight, he showed us, well, maybe he used it to teach himself. Maybe he'd been like, all right, yeah, I overlooked him. Didn't mind my P's and Q's. Because everybody knows when you're in this game and you're knocking people out, people aren't going to stand with you. They're going to try and drag you to deep waters and wrestle you. And with Peyton Talbott's style, like Brevin said, very big for this division. From range, I would say Peyton's similar to Sean O'Malley. That's why everybody's making that comparison when he was up and coming. Because at range, they're both a problem. They're going to pick you apart. It is extremely hard to fight them on the feet. The speed, the accuracy, they don't need to hit you hard. It's the same thing that Conor had. Obviously, Conor has power. They have power. All of them have power. That's not what I'm saying. But when you throw that fast, that accurate, you don't need a lot of power. It's going to sit people down because they're not going to see it coming. And then Brevin brought up the Sean O'Malley Merab thing. That's 100% what this fight's going to be. The only reason we are picking Peyton Talbott is because we do not think Henry Cejudo has the drive anymore. Merab will not stop. I do not think Henry Cejudo can shoot 9 takedowns and keep going. Not be deterred. Keep going, keep going, keep going. It'll be close. If he does, again, that's the question we're going to have to answer. How much did you teach yourself? What's the big goals that you're trying to get to in your career? Like how big of a stride? Everybody talks about it all the time. You get grapple fucked. How big of a difference can you make in a 4-month, 5-month span when one guy's a gold medalist in wrestling? Damn close fight.
And JP, that's the thing though, dude. If Henry does have a takedown or two stuffed, you want to talk about ego. I mean, how many more does he shoot? Because like he's kind of protecting his legacy a little bit too. You're the Olympic medalist, right?
Yeah.
You're the dude. You're the wrestler. And if you get stuffed by Peyton Talbott, then what? Right? What's going on there? And so I think for him and his ego, yeah, shoot 1 or 2 takedowns. See if you can get that. See if you can control him. But if not, how many more do you shoot? Because then
Exactly.
it turns into like, hey, I kind of need a talking point because, you know, I'm a coach at the end of the day. I have my own gym. I can't be getting stuffed by Peyton Talbot because then I can't lean on my wrestling pedigree as like this overwhelming crazy thing. I don't know. It's an interesting matchup, and like a lot of people are questioning why Henry even agreed to this fight because this could potentially ruin the legacy a little bit. If you have this 27-year-old kid who can't wrestle, go out there and defend takedowns, knock you out potentially, that's rough on the legacy, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, the way Henry used to fight, because he is good. He's a phenomenal grappler. But it's a young man's style. It just really is. It's so much. And if anybody, I mean, obviously you guys are watching this because you watch fighting, so you've probably wrestled and shit. I mean, it is tough, dude. It is tough. When you're incorporating kicking and punching and all that shit to constantly, I say it all the time. That's why we like Merab so much, because that style is fucking crazy to keep in every fight. And then the big cage, the footwork of Talbot. That's the biggest thing to me too, is you're going to have to chase this dude and cut him off. Just to get to him, it's going to be a process. Without getting hit. Or without getting hit hard or that much or clean, right? Because he's probably going to hit you. And then that's the problem. If you're on the cage, when you go to shoot, is he going to cut an angle and then we're back out to the center and now we start at square one again? Or is Henry just going to lean on him on the cage but can't get him down, and then the judges don't, they let Mario Batista win that, but they don't let Henry win? A lot of questions, man. That's why we're not going to touch it. A lot of questions.
Yeah. A lot of questions. All right, moving up. Brandon Moreno is taking on the up and coming Japanese prospect Tatsuro Taira.
Man, I mean, this main card is just ridiculous. This whole card, UFC is treating us well lately. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'll let Brevin do his talk track more, but this is one fight that I told Brevin, I said, you gotta help me out here. You gotta give me a ladder because I'm at the bottom of this hole and I have no idea. Brandon Moreno, we like a lot. The assassin baby. I mean, this dude, great wrestler, great scrambles, great transitions, great boxing, great dude. I love Brandon Moreno just as a person. Great guy. He's funny. I mean, him walking up behind, I forgot who it was. Maybe it was DC or something, and just shoving the absolute shit out of him and then laughing really hard. I just think it's hilarious. And then Taira. You guys know how high we are on Taira. We've watched his whole come up. I mean, this kid's a phenomenal fucking grappler, dude. I think we picked Royval over him in their split decision. I think that was one of the cards we went. Was that the card I went 11-1, and it was because of the coin flip I did with the women's fight?
Might have been, but I know Royval was like a 2-1 underdog, maybe a little bit higher than that, and we were siding with Royval hard, and a lot of people were disagreeing, but Royval got the job done.
Yeah, and it was a close fight again. We think Taira is very good. His striking has definitely made strides since we first saw him. We just think it's going to be a little bit too much again. Brandon Moreno is still at the upper echelon of this division. I mean, fighting title challengers, former title holders. Everybody was mad because him and Figgy had their quadrilogy. Him and Royval fighting all the time. Him and Pantoja fighting all the time. This dude's... I mean, he's... I just don't know. Damn close fight. We're taking the assassin, baby. Dog money. Give us Brandon Moreno. I'll let Brevin do his talk track more because he convinced me, but I mean, just what a fight, dude. What a fight.
Yeah, guys, we're super excited for this matchup. I mean, a lot of people are a little bit conflicted, like looking at the two styles and wow, Tatsuro Taira, great grappler, right? The thing that I worry about from Tyra's end of things is that Moreno's got the striking to keep Taira at bay, and Moreno's never been subbed. And Moreno's been the champion. He's fought in a lot of 5-rounders, and we saw in the last 5-rounder that Tatsuro Taira fought against Royval, it was a rough outing. He couldn't get the job done, and arguably Royval's a worse grappler, wrestler than Moreno. Now, Tatsuro Taira did fight another 5-rounder against Hyung Sung Park, right? And got the win there. But at the end of the day, that's not going to compare to the level of experience of Brandon Moreno. And now I bring up the 5-round experience because it's only a 3-rounder, right? And Moreno's done phenomenal things in the course of 5 rounds. When you shorten that down to 3 rounds, we found a lot of guys have success, right? They increase the volume. Yeah, I mean, even arguably, um, JP, help me out here. The one that just lost to Carlos Prates,
Leon.
uh, Leon, yes, Leon. Um, Leon Edwards came out round 1, looked really good, right? We talked about the 5-round experience, 3-round fight now against Carlos Prates, looked good, implemented grappling of his own, took the bag, probably won round 1. All of a sudden, it didn't go well for him. But at the same time, Moreno, I think, can really put it on Taira from a striking perspective. He throws good volume. He's got a snappy jab. And I think Taira's going to find himself a little bit frustrated, forcing things. And when he starts forcing takedowns and getting stuff, tires you out. And I think Moreno takes this fight probably by decision. I don't think he starches Taira or anything like that. He has the better hands. And, I think he's got the wrestling and grappling upside to keep Taira at bay. So give us another underdog here, Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, I like that point you brought up with Leon and Carlos because don't get it twisted. We picked Carlos, obviously. I knew he was going to start you. Okay. But yeah, I mean, that was what we were saying before the breakdown is Leon's no volume. He's very slow, and he's not an offensive grappler. He's not going to do that. First round, if you watch that and then don't know the outcome or watch any other thing about that fight, you hear our breakdown, you'd probably be like, you guys are retarded and don't know what you're talking about. Right? But That's the thing that Brevin's trying to make, is that these people who fight 5 rounds and then go to 3 rounds, especially when you fight that many 5-rounders, I would probably have a lot of confidence too, being like, yep, I'm going to go out and get on my bike and just give it hell, really. There's no reason not to, right? No reason to hold back. And then the worst thing, in my eyes, is losing a 3-rounder because you started Chito Vera, I guess, for instance. You lose 3 rounders because you just start slow and don't give anything to offer, right? All right, we made it, guys. Co-main in main. 2 title fights. Oh, man, this is juiced. Alexandre Pantoja will defend his belt yet again against one of our favorite fighters, a guy who, Brevin, I'm pretty sure this dude is the one who has made us the most money on the show, Joshua Van.
Yeah, you guys, if you followed the channel for a while, you know we do our thing with hopping on the van, hopping off the van. JP's been on the van longer than I have. He had candy in the back of the van. Joe Pfeiffer was in the van at one point. It was really weird. He was putting body bags in there. Yeah, it was wild. It was a wild, wild ride. And now we've made our way to a championship fight, taking on one of the best the flyweight division has ever seen in Alexandre Pantoja. I'm super excited for this one, given the fact that Joshua Van has shown he's got crazy, crazy takedown defense, which has warranted us not knowing how Joshua Van looks off of his back. You know, when you have that good of takedown defense, we just don't see those things. Now, Pantoja, he's going to blitz forward. I expect, JP, that he does find a takedown with his relentless pressure and blitzes that he has. The thing he's got to watch out for is Joshua Van's got really sharp striking, really good boxing, you know. But one thing that we have seen from Joshua Van is he sometimes struggles with the calf kicks coming his way. I think he needs to do a little bit better of a job checking some of those, right? Preventing those from getting to him, because he can get calf kicked. He's got that strong base. He's got big time legs that are very, very muscular. That really helps him in the takedown defense. But I think Pantoja is going to be able to get inside, find the takedown, and then we're going to see what Joshua Van has to offer off of his back. And honestly, JP, whatever that may be, I just don't think it's on the level of Alexandre Pantoja. I expect Pantoja to get the takedowns, possibly find a finish. If not, really control Joshua Van, take the easiest path to victory to defend this championship once more. Give us Alexandre, the cannibal Pantoja.
Oh, man. Man. Guys, it's a sad day. It is a sad day Brevin's talking about. We've been on the van. Okay, I've been on the van. Every stop of the way, they say, hey, you want to get off? I said, absolutely not. I'm staying on the van. Brevin said, I had candy on there. I was drinking on there. We had body bags in the back. We were throwing them out every couple of miles. You know, you can't drop them too often, because then they start to see the pattern, and then they're like, hey, it came out of that van. You got to wait till like every 4th mile marker. Shove one out, you know. Then we came to this stop. They turned around and they said, hey, you want a drink? You want your candy? We know you're not getting off. Sorry, guys. Got to get off. I got to get off. Got to stop at home, talk to the wife a little bit. You know, I haven't seen her forever. Been on the van that long. Okay. Will I bet on Joshua Van? Yes. With all that being said, yes, I will. I'm going to bet on Joshua Van. I mean, he's probably top 3 for me in the UFC favorite fighter. I love the way he fights. His hips, gorgeous. Get off me. Stuffing takedowns, sprawling, shoving the head down. And then when he does that, he steps forward into the pocket. Boom, boom, boom. Body, head, body. Gorgeous combinations. Volume, everything. Literally everything. I love the way Joshua Van fights. This kid's 24. He's in a title fight. But there is levels to this, man. There just is. Brevin is right when he talks about the calf kicks. We've seen that in multiple fights. He doesn't address them very well. He doesn't get compromised by them necessarily, but still eating them. And then Brevin brought up a great point when we were talking about it before the show. Pantoja blitzes. That's how he strikes. People want to talk about him being lackadaisical, looks tired, whatever. That's him. That's how he fights. And he blitzes you. Right? He doesn't give you the chance. And he's got a great chin. Phenomenal chin. If Joshua Van knocks him out, nobody's going to be happier than me. But like Brevin said, we don't know what Van looks like when he does get to his back. Pantoja is just the GOAT of this division. He just is. Who's the other one that's in conversation with him? Demetrius Johnson. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. We're taking Pantoja. I love Van. I hope he wins. I think he'll be back in this spot. I think he'll be challenging for a title again in his career. Kid's a problem. Give us Alexandre Pantoja.
Yep. 1000%. Good fight, though. Once again, it will show us a lot about each one of these individuals. All right. That moves us up to the main event, and it's a good time for it, JP, because I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. Here we go. We've got Merab the Machine Dvalishili taking on Petr No Mercy Yan for the second time.
Well, Revan's losing his voice, so you guys know what that means. You're stuck with me yapping. All right? Deal with it. We're taking Merab. Sue us. We're taking Merab. Okay, the second fight. We like Petr Yan. Petr Yan is another guy similar to Joshua Van. Great boxing. Petr Yan, I mean, great boxing, great takedown defense, great grappling, all the above, right? Defensive grappling. Petr Yan has phenomenal trips in the clinch, okay? He's got a good shell. It'll look like you're hitting him clean, and then you get a little close, and then he'll parry you, boom, 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 and then he'll trip you. Phenomenal trips from the clinch. Gorgeous to watch. But Merab is Merab. Merab is Merab, and that's why I talked about it with the Henry Cejudo fight, because this dude will not be deterred through anything, and guess what? He is now an even more of a problem because his striking has leveled up since the last time they fought. Merab's not going to stand on the feet and outclass somebody by any means, but Merab's striking has made it to a certain level where now you have to be extremely aware of what he has on the feet and then still deal with the takedowns. This dude is just an absolute problem, and we say it all the time. Everybody always says it. Weaponized cardio. I mean, Merab beats people with that more than anything. Like I told you guys, if I'm going to shoot 1, 2, 3, 4 takedowns, and you stuff all 4 of those, some guys will get deterred and be like, shit, I just can't grapple. Merab won't. You can stuff 4 takedowns, and then you could ask Merab, hey, is that guy got good takedown defense? No, it sucks. And then he'll shoot 20 more. And by that time you get to 10, you're exhausted from stuffing him. I mean, in their first fight, Reverend, you remember how many takedowns Merab shot?
It was like 48.
49 takedowns. And he only got 11 of them. Somebody's like, oh my God, Petr Yan's going to be able to stuff his takedowns and Merab's not going to be able to get him to the ground and he's going to light him up on the feet. Not when you shoot 49 takedowns, dude. And nobody's saying Merab's boring. Absolutely not. With how he talks on the mic, what he says, and his fights. I just do not care, man. He's entertaining. He's a problem to deal with. And now his striking is making strides to make him a problem everywhere. Give us Merab Dvalishili. And still, another defense. Dude's going to be a problem for a while.
The other thing, too, is in the first fight, the takedown attempts were stifling the striking of Petr Yan, and that's what no one talks about. They want to talk about, oh, he shot 49 takedowns. Like, keep in mind, he landed 202 punches and threw 401. Like, the dude was very active with his hands as well. So it wasn't just the takedowns. And now we got another 5-rounder. And honestly, JP, if I'm Petr Yan, I'm sitting there just shitting myself. I'm like, gosh darn it. I was hoping by the time I made it back to this spot, there'd be a different champion. Because I can be a lot of people in this division, but I don't think Merab Dvalishili is one of them. He is just stylistically the most problematic opponent to face for these guys. And I think he gets it done again. You know, Merab is the man. Plus, he's only 30. He's only 34, right? So still in his prime. still good. He's not old by any means, and he's got the cardio to really push you past your limits. And I think we see that again. And JP brought up a wonderful point, and I'm glad that you've said this because we talk about it all the time. It's hard to beat the same guy twice, right? But when they drastically improve from one fight to the next, we saw that with the Sean O'Malley fight, right? First fight, pretty close. Second fight, not so close. And Sean was very confident going into the second fight. Merab had improved so much since that past fight. And this is going to be the same story. Petr Yan thinks he's ready. He thinks he's getting this version of Merab. I guarantee you, JP, if Merab shoots close to the same amount of takedowns, he will land much, much more, but he won't even have to shoot that many because he will land a lot more takedowns than he did percentage-wise in their first fight. He's very, very, very skilled, and he's only getting better. And like you said, the hands are a problem. He almost knocked out Corey Sandhagen. Yikes, that's scary. Now, you want to talk about scary? That's scary. If Merab can knock you the hell out, and you have to worry about his hands as well as the takedowns, and you're defending his power punches, but then he's shooting a double, who's beating him? I don't know. Give us Merab. Let's roll with it.
100%. And that's another great point that you brought up. Petr Yan's got a great shell. What I said earlier. Got a great shell, and then he'll parry you and counter. It's hard to keep that shell up when the dude's constantly on your hips shooting doubles.
Yeah.
It makes you change your game plan 100%.
Yeah, you got to dig an underhook real fast, and if your hands are that high, you're getting taken down. All right, that does it for the card. It doesn't do it for the show. Don't go anywhere. We got your free show parlays coming your way, starting with Locked Door MMA's Lock of the Night. JP, tell the people who we're locking up.
It's obvious. Give us Merab, the machine. Hey, everybody, Aljo! Give us Merab, man. We just talked about it. We love this guy. Didn't like this guy originally. Now we love him. We're taking the machine.
Taking the machine. He made us believers. And then for Revan's Basic, let's start with the machine, Merab Dvalishvili, and then we're going to throw in a guy that can only be part of a parlay piece unless you're dialing up some awesome prop. Give us Mansour Abdul, and then Abdul-Malik. Sorry about that. But then, to cap us off for the third fighter on the Basic, arguably the GOAT, give us Alexandre Pantoja to get it done. Put those three together for your basic parlay of the weekend.
Good one. Good one. All right. Booster time. And it's juice, baby boys. This one juice. All right. It's more juice than Merab smacking Eileen Perez's ass. Sit down. Shut up. Let's do it. All right. Throw in the lock. Everybody knew that. It's obvious. We're putting Merab in everything for a reason. And then we're doing something I have never done. Okay? Throw in a couple dogs. Here, there, sprinkle. Plus a couple big favorites. This, that. We got a bunch of dogs this card, and we're filling out the rest of the juicer with nothing but dogs. Because it's a juicer. It's almost Christmas time, and this one's smacking. Get your significant other something nice. Get yourself a house. Because I'm paying the fucking mortgage with this one, buddy. All right. Merab's in it. Bruno Ferreira over Marvin Vettori. He's dog money. He might get a finish too. Nazim Sadykhov over Ziam. Volume, pressure, all the above. Love that. Karini Silva. All right. There's always one that screws us. This might be it. Okay. She pulls guard. I might crash out. I might not even be able to watch the rest of the fights because my TV might have a fucking hole in it. All right, just saying. It's close. Throw her in there. Manuel Orez. All right, that dude's a problem. Hits hard. I mean, he's got the power to put anybody out. And it might be Grant Dawson, okay? Grant Dawson might want to use his wife's caboose as a pillow when he's sleeping, okay? No more bouncing quarters. Maybe he's bouncing his head off of it. And the final one, the assassin baby. That'll Brandon Moreno. Okay, throw him in there. He's gonna be champion. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But one thing is true. The juicer's hitting because Moreno's in it. It's juice, baby. Plus 7,500. Bunch of dogs. Let's get her done.
I love it. That was spot on, JP. I will be having you clip that, and that is going on TikTok this week, my friend. I'm excited for this one, guys. Hopefully you guys are too. The last and final pay-per-view, maybe. Dana White's left that open. He said it may not be the end of pay-per-view, but moving forward, they're going to be on Paramount. Plus, exciting stuff, guys. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the best channel for predicting. I think we're pretty entertaining. Let us know in the comments. Leave a comment, leave a like, and share with a friend so that they don't miss out on the best predictions in the business. But with that, JP, I'll let you take us home.
Yep, we appreciate it, man. We want you guys to keep driving that engagement, that watch time, all the above. We would love to do this full time at some point, and we're planning more content, okay? More content is on the way. Tom Aspinall. We didn't touch on this in the beginning. Tom Aspinall. No more Mr. Nice Guy, okay? No more Mr. Nice Tom. All right, fucking double eye poke. Not anymore. All right, he found out what would it take. I'm not a dummy. All right, calling Cyril Gane a cheater and all this. We'll have to see. Man might have to have surgery. That's wild. It is what it is. But yeah, fights are back. I believe, what is it, Brevin? This weekend and next weekend? Gotta hit the back button a bunch of times. Yeah, this weekend, next weekend. Then we got a short time off. All right, beginning of January. And then we're back for Paramount. Never been easier to watch UFC, baby. Final pay-per-view. Football. All right, your boys. You're looking at the 1 and 2 seeds. All right, right here in our league, and we'll see how it goes. All right, playoff times. I believe start next week.
Let's clarify. Fantasy football. I mean, people are seeing the Raiders logo, and people are seeing the Chiefs logos back here. So,
oh, Jesus Christ.
Fantasy football, the 1 and 2 seeds. Yours truly. JP and I are running the league.
Hey, I mean, we've been swapping that, all year, back and forth. So we'll see how it goes. We both got a first round bye. All right, we've seen each other twice this year. Might be a third. All right, if I was a betting man. Well, I don't want to say that because maybe then it won't happen.
We got to get some things going. I gotta get in the lab this bye week.
I mean, I say if I was a betting man, one of us might get hit by a car. You never know. Okay. The Raiders are still in the first place. Or the first pick. All right. Another week, another loss. One step closer. Getting Pete Carroll fired and Geno Smith the fuck out of the NFL. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, another week, another set of fights. As always, it was a pleasure. Bingo, bango, baby! Hey.